I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard to drive traffic to your website. There are just so many different strategies and techniques and tools, it can all be really cluttering. But imagine if you had the secret to driving traffic to your website, and that secret came in 3 easy steps. Well, that's exactly what I cover in this video. So if you wanna make money by driving traffic to your website, then stick around. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Doug, this is Doug Does Digital, and my goal, my passion, is to help people make money online so they have the freedom to choose how they want to live their lives. So if that sounds like something that you want to achieve, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. So these 3 steps are actual techniques that I used to drive hundreds of thousands of visitors to my clients' websites when I worked at a digital marketing agency. Okay, so I kind of lied. There's actually 4 easy steps. But the first step is something that you should be doing regardless of your type of business. And that first step is to have a clear target audience. Think about this. There's that one person that reads every single post that you have, that clicks every single affiliate link that you have, that follows you on social media, that writes to you an email, that just loves what it is that you're doing with your site. Who exactly is that person? So while you're going through the next 3 steps, have that person in mind. You have to empathize with them. You have to know what it is what they want to read. You have to know what it is that will get them to engage. And this person is who you should be focusing on. So how do you determine your target audience? Let's just go over that briefly. First, you want to think about demographics, their job, their gender, age, income level, even location. Then think about what kind of interests or hobbies this person might have. Maybe they're really into computers or they're someone who likes fashion. Next, think about their mindset, and this one might be a little bit different. What you have to do is you have to try to think, how does this person think? Not necessarily just what do they like, but what are their opinions on things? So if your person has, fashion for a hobby, are they of the opinion that something more sophisticated is better, or that something more casual is better? So once you've gone through that thought process, you should pick at least 2 things. So that means you should pick either like their age and then their hobby, or you should pick their opinions and then their demographic. So for example, if you're in my target audience, you probably have an interest or a hobby having to do something with digital media or something online, and you want to make money for yourself. Okay, so now that you have a target audience in mind, let's talk about how to build that audience and drive traffic to your website. So the first step to getting more traffic to your website is to do your keyword research. Why do you need to do keyword research? Well, again, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, you can't just write about anything and hope to get traffic. You have to think about what it is that your target audience wants to read. Think about what it is that they're typing into that search bar when they're on Google or another search engine. You want this target audience to be able to find your site, to like your content, to become a subscriber, to get on your email newsletter. So they have to find your site somehow. So you have to pick a topic that they're searching for. Okay, so here's how you do keyword research. First, you want to start with a single keyword or topic. So for my example here, I'm going to use the word video editing. Now this is going to resonate with my target audience because it has to do something with digital media or something that you can do with computers, but you can also leverage video to try to make money online. Now just video editing, that specific term, is just way too broad. So we need to go ahead and narrow it down a bit. There can't be too much competition by picking a broad term, but there can't be too little of search volume to where nobody's searching for it. So we have to find something right in the middle. This is done by targeting a long tail keyword and can be done in a number of ways. So the first is to use the suggestions that Google has when you search for a keyword. So when you type in video editing, you'll actually see some auto-suggest terms that drop down in the search bar. And if you actually search for the term and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you'll see some suggested keywords there as well. But that's a lot of going back and forth. So to make this even more efficient, there's actually a tool you can use called Keywords Everywhere. So this tool will actually show you the monthly search volume, the competition, and the cost per click as you're typing it into the Google search bar, or even in some other search engines. So again, find a good balance of MSV, or monthly search volume, and competition. Now that's all gonna vary on your niche, it's gonna vary on your competition, it's gonna vary on who else is out there writing about these kinds of things. So it might take a little bit of time to find the right keyword, but you'll be able to narrow it down. Your other option here is to actually use a tool that helps give you actual suggestions from their keyword bank. So something like Google Keyword Planner is a good tool to be able to use for this, but starting to use Keyword Planner can be kind of confusing because you actually have to sign up with AdWords and start filling out an ad and taking these other steps, so I'll link an article below that explains how to exactly do that. And from there, you just type in your keyword and it will actually give you keyword ideas. Pretty awesome. A paid alternative to Google Keyword Planner is Keyword Finder. Now the free option is pretty limited. You get something like 5 searches per day or something like that, but it is a great tool that accomplishes the same thing as Keyword Planner. And if you don't want to jump through the extra hoops of setting up the ads and some of those other things. So as you're choosing your primary topic or your primary keyword and you're narrowing it down using those techniques, you need to keep in mind the goal of your post. Certain types of keywords can attract certain types of users. So you have top funnel keywords, which are very broad keywords to try to just capture an audience. And then you have bottom funnel keywords, which is where you're getting that user or that reader to actually try and take an action. So for example, something like Louis Vuitton bag review, and insert the name of the specific bag because I can't think of one off the top of my head, might be a keyword that's something more specific towards getting an affiliate click or getting someone to purchase a Louis Vuitton. But a term such as how to build a PC isn't necessarily getting you to try to buy a PC part, but instead trying to build more awareness by giving someone something that's educational or something that's helpful. Okay, so you'll also need to keep in mind the reader themselves. You need to think about what the reader can get out of the post. Go back to your target audience. Now remember to get into their head and think about what they're searching for and what they might be trying to do. Are they trying to learn a skill? Are they trying to find information about a product? Are they trying to buy something online? That's again why it's so important to have a target audience. So once you've gone through these steps, boom, you've picked out a target keyword. But that target keyword isn't just gonna be what magically gets you some traffic. Now we need to move on to the next step. And that next step is to optimize your post. One of the best ways that you can drive traffic and build an audience is to rank organically within a search engine. Why? Because it's free. You don't have to keep paying for Google AdWords. You don't have to go into Facebook and keep updating your Facebook ads. It's free traffic. You just have to put in the work up front. So to do that, you need to optimize your post. And I'm gonna split this up into 2 different sections. The first part is gonna be all about the content of your post. And the second part is gonna be about the technical makeup of that post. So let's start with content. The phrasing "content is king" is something that you're gonna hear a lot about if you're learning how to build a website or how to write a good blog or how to make money from a blog. But what does that exactly mean? I mean, I could talk about that for a really long time, but let's just go ahead and break this down. First, the phrase "content is king" comes from the thought process that 1, Google loves content and feeds off of that content to be able to find someone to rank. But 2, good content drives conversation. It gets people to buy things. It gets people to follow you. It's something that really drives an engagement. I know that that's pretty broad, so let's jump into what's called EAT. So EAT, or expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, is something that Google looks for when it's trying to grade a page, whether that's a high quality page or a low quality page. So how do you get a good EAT score? First, you want to write about the topic in its entirety. You don't want to just focus on that tiny little keyword that you picked. Think of that as more of a topic for you to write about. So let's say that your keyword is custom computer desks. Now you don't want to write just about the products themselves that you offer. What you want to actually do is write about the history of the computer desk, different styles of computer desks, what types of different jobs have different types of computer desks, what are the materials, how much do they weigh. You need to cover the entire topic because you need to be an expert within that topic. So that covers expertise, but authoritativeness is a little bit different. You need to show Google that you are an authority within your niche. Now you don't have to be a bona fide expert professional who's paid within this niche. You just have to be able to show that you have the experience to back it up. So on your website, fill out your About Me page in its entirety. If you have author bios, fill out your author bios. And if you have profiles somewhere else, like a LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, that's relevant to what it is that you're writing on, then link those up. So you want to try to have some type of like social branding almost to be able to show that authoritativeness. Because you also not just need to prove to Google that you're an authority, but you need to prove to people that you're an authority as well. Okay, so trustworthiness can come from a few things. One of them being linking out to other sites. It really shows that you're doing your due diligence and that you know that you don't know everything, that there are other people that may be able to contribute to that post. Also, you want to get your site on the HTTPS protocol. This is quickly becoming the standard in website security, so make sure your site is on HTTPS because Google actually uses that as a ranking factor. If you use a hosting company like SiteGround, It won't come automatically set up, but it's really easy to do. You can actually get hooked up with a free SSL and it's really easy to use. So go check that out. All right, so the next part with content is about engagement. So what do I mean by engagement? I mean comments on your post, the amount of social shares that you have on your post. How much time are people spending actually reading your post? These types of signals are good factors that indicate whether your post is a good fit for that keyword that was searched or not. If Google sees good engagement, it might mean a higher ranking for you. If a lot of people see a lot of social shares on your post, then they might be intrigued to go ahead and read that because other people enjoyed it. So the last thing to touch on about content is the length of the content. Now this has changed rapidly over the past year or so. When I was in the industry, we really talked about doing, 300 to 500 to 800 word blog posts to try to get you to rank. That was a couple of years ago. Now, it's more like you need to be writing 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 word blog posts, these extremely long posts, so you can go ahead and rank. Part of it goes back to you being that expert and being trustworthy and being authoritative because you're fully covering a topic. Just make sure you don't try to fluff up that article with a bunch of just filler words. The longer the post also means the longer the time the reader is going to read that post if you're giving them something that's worth it. So make sure they have something that's worth it there. So if you're wondering about this, just go search your target keyword, look at the top 3 or 4 posts, and look at how long those posts are. Now this is going to vary if you have an e-commerce website and you're really trying to push traffic towards a specific product, but you'll also see that Google's starting to favor product pages that have a lot of content. So really, regardless of what niche you're in, length is going to be extremely important. Okay, so now let's move on to the technical factors of optimizing your page. This is going to be a little bit more straightforward, so make sure you nail these. Make sure you hit these hard. We're going to start with the page title. The page title is the blue link that you see in the Google SERPs. This page title is your best bet. It's your best chance at telling Google what it is that your page is about and what keyword it is you're trying to rank for. So make sure your keyword is in your page title. Your meta description is the blurb that you see underneath the URL and the page title in the Google SERPs. Now the meta description itself doesn't help you rank, but it can help influence clicks on your page. And the more clicks you can get, the higher your click-through rate, the higher of a chance you're going to get an increase in ranking. And that increase in ranking, of course, is going to lead to more traffic, which is why you're here, I'm hoping. So next up are header tags, specifically the H1 and H2. The H1 should be the title of your post, and the H2 should be subheadings of your post that help break up your post into digestible areas, but still help describe what's happening within that section of your page. So moving on to image alt tags, Google can't really see what your picture is. I mean, it's getting better about it, but it doesn't know what that picture is exactly. So you need to tell it what it is with these alt tags. So you tell it what it is by just describing it. Don't try to keyword stuff here, but if you can, try to slip in a keyword there. The URL is a commonly missed opportunity to optimize a web page. You want to make sure that your URL isn't too long, but still includes relevant keywords to your post. Let's move on to internal links. Now, internal links are used by Google to understand what pages are important on a website. The more links that go to a page, hey, the more important that page should be. So when you put up a new post, link from your old relevant posts to the new one to show Google, hey, these are relevant, you should check out this new post. And at the same time, you should be doing that for the reader. If the reader is reading a good topic about cameras, for instance, and then you wrote a topic about filters for those specific cameras, then you should link the two posts together. All right, this one is kind of old school, but you still need to do it. Try to put your keyword in the beginning of your post. Google crawls your post from top to bottom, so let's get that keyword up there within, I don't know, let's say like the first 100 to 150 words. And finally, to get users engaged with your content, to get users to stay on your post and to reduce bounce rate, you need to write in a way that gets them to stick. So you need to get them intrigued with your content right away. You want to get straight to the point, tell them what your post offers, tell them how they'll be able to take advantage of that offer, tell them how they'll be able to use that information for themselves, and then preview the post, kind of go through and say, here's a little bit of what you might see, keep on reading. And that should get them to try to read the rest of it. Okay, so the third step here to getting more traffic to your website is to go out and share your content. Look, you've done your keyword research really well. You found this awesome topic. Then you went through and spent a long time sitting there and optimizing it perfectly. Now you want to amplify the impact that that content can have by sharing it. So there's a few goals here when sharing your content. One is to actually get traffic from those shares. hopefully you share it with your friends, they share it with their friends, they share it with their coworkers. You guys are all kind of in that same niche, and you actually drive traffic from those social engagements. That's kind of like word of mouth to get people to your website. But the second reason why you want to share them is to actually get links back to your site. Links are one of Google's top ranking factors, and they're extremely important if you want to drive that residual organic traffic. So first, go ahead and just share your post out on social media. Hopefully you have a page that you can put it on, or you have like a branded page that you post that to. Then go find Facebook groups that are related to your niche, make sure that you can share your content there, and go ahead and share it. You can also do the same thing with forums or with subreddits. To help others share your content after you've shared it, on your post and website itself, you want to be able to have social share icons. These can be at the top of your post, they can be at the bottom, you can have floating ones, or even better, you can even have click to tweet buttons or pin it buttons over your images. Lots of different options to help amplification. Now, aside from just sharing it organically and trying to get links that way, there's actually specific techniques and specific outreach that you can do to increase your chances of getting links. Now, back at the agency I used to work at, we used to use similar tactics. We'd write really good content, and what we would do is we'd share it with industry leaders. And what we would do is we would actually include that industry leader in our post somehow and say, hey, look, I wrote about you. You should check this out. And when they check it out, they share it. This is a little thing called ego bait. So let's go through that one more time. What you want to do is you want to find someone reputable or find some type of influencer within your niche. This can be done just by going on Twitter and looking, for people that you follow, or you can go into a forum and find people on forums. You can just read articles on some of your favorite blogs. But what you want to end up doing is landing in front of this person's email address. So once you've found that person, try to include their content in your content and link out to it. Then after the post goes live, you want to do a little bit of outreach. Now, we used to do this a little bit different, but recently I've learned from Brian Dean of Backlinko that if you use a two-step approach and actually doing outreach, you can increase your chances of getting a link. So you want to write them an email, say something like, hey, I really enjoyed this post that you did. It really sparked X, Y, and Z. Now here I am writing this post, and I've actually linked to yours in mine. Would you want to check it out? So that first step doesn't actually include a link, but you just say, hey, I talked about you, do you want to see it? And if they respond, they say, yeah, I want to check it out. Drop them the link, but don't ask them to share it. You need to really have that intention of just sharing good information, and links come naturally. So I'm just going to warn you here, you're going to get a lot of no responses, and if you are going to get a link out of it, your content has to be really good. Okay, so let's quickly recap. 3 easy steps to get more traffic to your website. 1, do research on your topic, meaning keyword research, with your target audience in mind. If your topic isn't being searched, no one's going to find it. 2, optimize your content so you can rank organically and drive traffic through search engines. And 3, share your post on social, get people talking about it, and do some manual outreach to try to get some links back to your page. So with these 3 steps, with these 3 proven steps that I've just given you, you can drive more traffic to your website and you can build a bigger audience for your brand. But now that I've given you those 3 steps, I have a question for you. What step is it that you're on in this process? Are you just starting a blog? Are you looking for advanced SEO techniques? Are you done with your website and ready to move on to other parts of your brand? Let me know in the comments below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And I'll see you guys next time.